Hey guys, so let's have a look at Bitcoin here for a second. Now, I see that Bitcoin's hovering around the 94K area currently at the time of this recording. And like I've said before, if it fails to build support above 100K, it's going to fail and we're going to start seeing some heavy capitulation in the markets. Now, capitulation is basically a sell-off, selling at a loss, because the whales are going to start dumping. You see, they usually communicate with each other and they know when they're going to start dumping. And they usually catch the retailers off guard. So we want to be very vigilant at this particular time. You see, because I've mentioned before, it appears that we're having a very epic bull trap. A bull trap is when it appears as if it's getting ready to take off to go up to make all-time highs up to 120, 130, when in reality, the market's already lost and ran out of steam. You see, it's getting ready to turn over, to have a significant crash and head to the downside. So what we want to be looking out for is how this monthly candle closes, this month of May. Because if it closes with a prominent wick, that's a telltale sign right there. If it closes with a very long protruding wick to the upside, that's a sign that Bitcoin is getting ready to tumble very hard, very, very, very hard. Now, speaking of a monthly candle, sometimes we have to zoom out in order to gain a better perspective and to see the truth of what's really going on. So the other day I was looking at Bitcoin on the monthly, and I saw that Bitcoin appears to be playing out this pattern that looked very eerily similar to what it did before. Yes, before it formed this camel shape, double top pattern, before it went to crash, let's see, around 77% after it had formed this double top pattern with the two camel humps. And you'll notice that these monthly candles had very prominent wicks. Now, in this current run, we can see that these monthly candles as well already printed candles with very prominent wicks. That's why I said it looks very eerily similar to what it did before. And now we're in the midst of forming the second hump. It already created the first hump, and now we're in the midst of forming the second hump. The question is, will it be like the first time where it rallied basically just around the level of the previous all-time high and just a little bit higher above before it begins to crash? Or will it fail to get as high as 109, 110 area before it starts to crash? I don't know, but if it's mimicking the previous run, it's irrelevant whether it goes higher than before or it fails to go beyond its previous all-time high around 109, 110K. That is irrelevant. What's most important is that we would know for sure that it's getting ready to crash at least 77% as it did before. If this pattern is playing out again, the only thing that I didn't see that it did before was that in the previous pattern, it came down 50%. Here, it did not come down 50%. 50% would be around 55K area, around 55K area. But it only came to 74K. So that's the only thing that we didn't see in this run. Unless it's going to drop back down to 55K and we have a bounce from there, which I don't think that will play out. I think it already did the part where it made the dip. Now it's going to go for either a slightly higher high, or it fails to pass its previous high and then proceeds to tumble from there 77% up to 85%. That's what I'm thinking is getting ready to occur. Because like I've said many times now, if it fails to hold support above 100K, it will crash down to the 49, 50K area. Because it has some support levels down at that area, at the 49K, 50K area. And that's where it's heading. You know, that's if it fails to hold the level that it's currently at. So we want to pay attention and be in preparation for that. Now also, let's have a look at Ethereum for a second. Because if Bitcoin tumbles, we know that Ethereum is not immune. Ethereum also will tumble greatly. And the last time it peaked, it tumbled, let's see here. It tumbled around 81%. And that is huge. That is a significant drop right there. But personally, I'm expecting it to crash even further. Because we can see here on the charts, it has formed this ginormous M pattern. And it's basically an M pattern within an M pattern. That's like a double bearish pattern here. And so I can see it coming back all the way down here to that $200 level. So Ethereum would crash significantly. You guys might want to be prepared for that as well. A over 80% crash for Ethereum. Let's have a quick look at XRP as well. Now look at XRP. XRP is where? It's at the $2 level. It rallied, it spiked, and that is a spike. That's like a 3-month spike. Look at this. Ethereum rose in a 3-month period from 50 cents all the way up to, what's that? Almost $4, $3.80 something. Now I've seen this move 1,000 times. Whenever you have moves like this, the majority of times I've seen it, it comes all the way back down from where it started. Yes, so you guys want to be aware of that as well. It is heading right back down to where it started. And especially if Bitcoin starts to tumble and head towards the 50K area, you can be sure that XRP will tumble even further than 50 cents. It will go down even lower than 50 cents. So you guys be careful and prepare for this. Watch out for the sign. Watch and see if Bitcoin will close above the 110,000 area. If it fails to do so, I would advise that you exit immediately. Jump out of Ethereum, out of XRP, because the whales are going to dump on you guys. And it's going to get pretty nasty. So you want to be very, very careful. With Bitcoin, many times things are just not what it appears, or what the majority are broadcasting. I know right now that the majority are all saying that 150,000 is coming, but that just very well may not be the case, because it appears that Bitcoin is actually more predictable than we thought. All we have to do is zoom out and look at it from another perspective, because on the monthly charts, it appears that it's just mimicking its previous run. It's getting ready to do the exact same thing as it did before. I mean, it's right there, guys. You guys can check it out and see for yourself. It's right there on the monthly. It formed double tops before it tumbled literally 7 to 80%. And these prominent wicks are a telltale sign. They're a dead giveaway. So guys, I want you all to take precautions. Be very careful. If you see these signs that I've mentioned, if Bitcoin fails above the 100,000K area, get out. Try to hold some cash on the side, set some low buy limits, jump out of XRP, all of these blue chips, because they're going to tumble significantly. Bitcoin is going to drag a lot of them down. And I told you guys what you want to be in. You want to be in BNB Tiger. You want to be in these prophetic meme coins that have 10 to 12 zeros. That's the strategic move that you want to make. Buy and hold these meme coins that are already basically at zero. And also hold some cash on the side or keep them in low limit buy orders, whichever way. But stay clear of this crash because I tell you, many are going to be wiped out. And as for you leverage shorters, it's going to be a great opportunity for you guys because Bitcoin's getting ready to tumble down to 50K and potentially down to 20K as well. And this is what we've been waiting for. For then the meme coin season will begin. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I want you guys to be safe and to use wisdom so that you won't end up getting wrecked like a lot of people will in the coming days. So yeah, prepare yourselves and be observant. Shalom and peace until next time.